Our third main topic that we want to talk about today is something that's near and dear to my heart and that I grew up with, and that's Austin Powers. So most of you guys here probably know, any good film fan knows, who the Austin Powers franchise. So I believe the first one came out in 97, 98, the International Man of Mystery, right?
I think 96, if I had to guess.
96? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember being maybe like 5 or 6 when I went to see it, and then I was probably maybe 10 or 11 when I seen the second one in theaters. And then by the time Goldmember came out, I was probably like in middle school or something like that. But I enjoyed all those movies. I love those movies. I mean, one of the hardest times I've ever laughed in my entire existence, Shane, is I believe in the second one. It may be the third one, but I believe it's the second one, The Spy Who Shagged Me, is he gets in one of those little yellow cart things in Dr. Evil's lair, and he needs to turn around in this hallway, and he just keeps...
Oh, that's the first one.
Oh, is it?
They might revisit again in the second one.
And they should, because I my little 8-year-old brain, or however old I was, could not stop laughing. That was one of the hardest times I've ever laughed in my entire life. It was so stupid, but it just kept going on too. Like, they didn't just end it quickly. Or another one of my favorite ones is when Will Ferrell, falls off the side of the cliff as his character, and he's like down there. So he's like, "I'm still down here, and I'm hurt very badly."
So good. What a great cameo.
And it just keeps going on. Like, they turn to walk away. "There's now wolves approaching me. Someone please help quickly." I love it. I love those movies a lot.
I think that was pre-SNL for Will Ferrell too. I think he was a nobody at that point, just a comic in L.A.
Yeah, for sure. It really was. But when I think about it, it stands out as, one of his like great performances to me, Will Ferrell. But yeah, so this is coming to us from over at Yahoo, possibly. Here we go. So this is what Mike Myers said. I want to read this exact quote. So he was on the, what's his name?
Jimmy Fallon.
The Jimmy Fallon show, right? And so this is an exact quote. He says, quote, "I don't have anything to announce. I can neither confirm nor deny the existence or non-existence of such a project." And again, this is on the topic of Austin Powers 4. He said, adding, "Yeah, I would love to do it. Of course. It's fun. But I have 3 kids under the age of 11. I've been super, super busy being a dad. I'll see what I can do, Jimmy Fallon." And this is kind of cool, man, we in the world we live in, Shane, we're always talking about here, it's IP driven now in this movie world that we live in, and television world and screen world. And so, I mean, what IP is as big and well known as, Austin Powers, especially when it comes to that comedy, kind of thing, and you got this kind of James Bond comedy spy thriller. I think this would work in today's world, and I think people would revisit it. Like I told Shane, I don't know if this is something you put in theaters and that people go out and just want to see. Maybe. See, that's the thing with this genre material, right? Because you just don't know. Because, you would have told me a year ago that was going to happen with Top Gun and that people were going to flock out and it was going to be $1 billion movie. I would have laughed at you. I would have looked you right in your face and laughed and been like, "You freaking 80s kid, get out of here." But the truth is, look at it now. I mean, and who would have thought, It's the biggest movie of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So could Austin Powers do well at the box office? Maybe. But all I'm saying is it seems to me to be one of those great kind of, it's coming to streaming and let's watch it when it comes out, first day on streaming kind of thing. But either way, Shane, you've had a little bit to think about Austin Powers. Well, first off, tell us your thoughts on the Austin Powers trilogy, how you like them, and then your thoughts on the idea of possibly having a Austin Powers 4.
Well, I'm a big Austin Powers fan. I grew up with the series. I think if it came out in 96, I would have been 13. So it hit me right at the right moment. If we're talking about some of our favorite moments, I'll never forget the first one whenever, it's the ship looks like a giant penis. 97. Okay, so I was 14. And, so you have all these cuts to
Johnson!
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. I laughed for days and days and days on that. But there were so many great moments. I remember in the second one, when we get introduced to Mini Me, and then they go into the Just the Two of Us song.
Oh, in prison?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a hard knock life.
Oh, I think that's the third one.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Just the Two of Us. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
And so, there's all these great moments that will always live with me because they hit so hard back when they hit. So I would always be on board with an Austin Powers 4 movie. Now, will it work? I mean, I think the appeal of Austin Powers there's a couple of different appeals. One was when they were made, it was a raunchier time. And the 60s that they're, alluding to, was also a, different time, so a lot of the jokes that could play in the 60s or the 90s probably aren't going to play here. So he's probably going to have to find a new approach. And it's also that Captain America story where, he wakes up defrosted, so it's a man out of time story.
Right.
Well, now what's happened? He's lived here for 20 years, and so he's just like me, I guess.
He's even got the super soldier serum, right? The red mojo,
right? The mojo, I love it. But so what's he been doing? Is he works at Walmart? I mean,
right?
it does. So there's some appeal of what's he been doing, but we were talking about this earlier. I think a better one to revisit would be Wayne's World. What's Wayne Campbell been up to for the last 30 years? Here's a man-child that was already, too old to be acting how he is. How funny would it be the 60-year-old now who's party on, Garth? So I think that there's possibly better Mike Myers IP properties out there. And also we're talking about a rumor, but if it was set on the Jimmy Fallon show and Jimmy Fallon was able to bring back Saved by the Bell, I bet he could also bring back Austin Powers 4. And I'd probably be a sucker enough to watch it because, yes, I love the original trilogy very much so.
Yeah, and Fat Bastard?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Fat Bastard? Guys, this is one of the best characters ever written.
Was this before Eddie Murphy was doing all the characters?
I mean, when did he start doing that?
That was like...
Nutty Professor?
Was Nutty Professor, and he also had another one.
That.
Nutty Professor came out before Austin Powers?
No, Austin Powers would be before Nutty Professor.
So this was like the first one since like Peter, what's his name?
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Nutty Professor came out in 96.
There you go.
So a year before.
Yeah. But, it was one of those films at that time where, the main characters playing all these different flamboyant, different characters. And those were a lot of fun. In fact, there's that great joke in Tropic Thunder where Jack Black's character, he's that type of actor where his movie, he plays like all the family members, the fartnoids or whatever it is.
Oh, it's a terrible movie. That's not a real movie.
No, it's not a real movie.
If it ever was.
I'm surprised it hasn't been a real movie.
It seems like it. When you watch it, you're like, this is a movie I've already probably seen, actually.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, it was one of those early films that brought in that trend. So it'd be fun to see Mike Myers again play all these different absurd characters. I dig it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and plus, the reason why he's on the Jimmy Fallon show and the reason why, we have this article that we have up here from Yahoo is because, I mean, right now, Mike Myers is kind of, like they say here, experiencing something of a comeback right now. I mean, you got lots of things that he's in. He has that Married an Axe Murder series on Netflix that's really popular right now. And then, again, you got lots of IP with this guy, because you could do a Wayne's World movie, right? And I feel like that would be just as kind of big, now as Austin Powers would, So yeah, it's really cool to see. I mean, me as a fan personally, I love Mike Myers as an actor, and I enjoyed him a lot. When I was a kid, there was so much more. Seeing him on. Was it SNL?
Yep.
and stuff like that was just so, I mean, he was so great. He's such a performer. And even, later in the last couple of years, I've been able to see a few things that he's actually a pretty good actor in. So it's exciting to see that, he's out there, he's getting work again, because there was that I don't even want to say, but maybe like a 5 or 10 year period where it kind of seemed like he was just gone, right? We didn't really have much.
Well, he did make The Love Guru, so he deserved the exile that he got. That movie.
One of the worst films ever made, that's for sure.
I would rather watch Hocus Pocus 2 than The Love Guru.
I'm gonna take Love Guru.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna
man.
take Love Guru. I'm gonna take it. Yeah, because it's almost to me now like when I go back and I watch. Oh goodness, what's the one with Forrest Whitaker and Battle?
Oh yeah, with Battlefield Earth, right?
Yeah, Battlefield Earth. When I go back and watch that movie now, it's like brilliant.
I'd
It's
rather
like,
watch Hocus Pocus 2
oh
than
no,
Battlefield Earth.
oh it's so good. It's so good because it's sucky, but in such a funny, good way. It's like we were talking about something earlier. It's like, did they do this on purpose? And it's like, yeah, they did. They definitely did.
I don't think they did, dude. I don't think they did.
I hope so. Well, I view it now as they did.
You do realize that Travolta making that movie was like Mel Gibson making Passion of the Christ, because, you know, Mel Gibson's this very Catholic or Christian, whatever,
Sure.
devout Christian, wants to make this film honoring Jesus. Well, Battlefield Earth has its ties to Scientology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and L. Ron Hubbard. And so Travolta, Scientologist, making this film was like his Passion of Christ.
Oh, wow.
So this came from a very serious...
You know, I had the book when I was a kid, and honestly, it was a great book.
There you go.
I read it all the time, and I mean, it was a dense book for a kid my age, but I loved the stuff in there, but just because it was very space and sci-fi, and who doesn't love that kind of stuff? But anyways, guys, have you guys heard anything about this? Mike Myers on the Jimmy Fallon show talking about wanting to come back to potentially do an Austin Powers 4. If you guys haven't heard or just now hearing, what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comment section below. Are you guys Mike Myers fans? Do you want to see an Austin Powers 4? Or did you like the original ones, but you think it's probably not a good idea to do another one? Let us know, guys, down in the comment section below.